In today's episode, I thought I'd do a real quick review on the Echo Gear outlet shelf. That's up next. Before I begin talking about the Echo Gear outlet shelf, I want to make the point that I have not been sponsored by Echo Gear in order to promote this item. I purchased this item on Amazon for my own use, and I find it to be a very nice shelf. So this is my current setup, which is not ideal. I have the cord hanging down there off the side, which I guess isn't too terrible. However, I usually use this receptacle to plug in my hair dryer, and as you can see, I can't do that. Now, I do have this other receptacle over here, which I can plug my hair dryer in, but I'm just not used to doing that. And then the way it is, it strews over the sink here, which is not ideal either. I don't like that, even though it is a GFCI circuit. So for a solution, I purchased this shelf, which can have the Echo Dot mounted on top of it. And basically it sits like this over the receptacle, and then the wire storage is in this area up here. So it comes with two different face plates. I have this type of plate, so I'll be using this one. And then this is the top shelf cover that slides on, and you just basically put it on in about this position here, and you see it fits nicely, and then you push it back and it snaps in place, and that conceals the cord. Okay, let me provide you some information about this shelf. The shelf is a made-for-Amazon accessory, and it transforms any single outlet into a shelf on which you can hold your Echo devices. It includes both a standard wall plate and also a Decora wall plate. I'll be using the Decora wall plate. I was surprised at the wall plates themselves, how heavily constructed they are. They're a heavy steel plate that fits nicely into the shelf itself. The shelf is sturdy and it can hold up to 10 pounds. I've seen pictures where people use this not only for Echo devices, but also for diffusers and other things that they want to showcase above their receptacle switch. So it's good for many types of ideas. It'll work with the Echo 3rd generation, the Echo Dot Kids edition, the Echo Plus 2nd generation, and all previous Echo generations. It's super simple to install, and it's exactly like replacing an outlet cover. All you need is a screwdriver. The shelf has a built-in cable management channel that allows you to store the excess cord, and the shelf is offered both in white and black colors. As for the unit dimensions, the shelf is just short of 7 inches high, it's nearly 5 inches wide, and the shelf extends out almost 5 inches. This shelf has a customer rating of 4.6 out of 5 stars as of the time of this review, and it had nearly 11,000 reviews. One thing I want to note, there's been negative reviews that I read on the Amazon site about this specific shelf, stating that it has a lack of cord storage. Well, the original version apparently had some ribs or plastic supports within that area on the top of the shelf, and it made it difficult to store the cord up there. The newer version is all hollow inside, and there's plenty of room to store the additional cable that you have from your device. As for a bonus tip, if you don't want to run the cord up the face of the switch to the top of that cord storage area, I'm going to show you a modification that you can make to this shelf so that you can conceal a lot of that cord, and it makes it look a lot nicer. So if you purchase this shelf, you can easily improve the look and function of your home, and you can do it in just a couple of minutes. Now I'll show you how to put it together. Okay, so I've already removed the screws from this old plastic cover. These are sturdy metal, as you can see in the back. I mean, these are very sturdy metal covers. The other thing I like about this is that this fits snugly. I mean, it even kind of snaps in place. The tolerances are really tight. It looks clean, and it fits very well. So you put that plate in place. They give you long screws to put this in, and I guess that assumes that your receptacle might be recessed a little bit. In my situation, my receptacle comes out a bit, So using the former screws is no problem. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and reuse those. So you put the 2 screws back in. If you had the other type receptacle, you would simply be reinserting 1 screw. All right, that's already very sturdy. So now that that's in place, the next step is to go ahead and put the Echo Dot cord in place. Some people have turned this upside down and used the top receptacle so that you don't have the cord showing. There is a polarity issue with that. I'm not sure if that harms the device or not. I'm going to use the bottom receptacle. I still have plenty of room for the top receptacle. At that point, I'm going to feed the cord up through, and I'm going to let it come up along this side so it doesn't block the upper receptacle, just right up alongside there like so. Once you get it up here, I would recommend you use a twist tie for this, but you just wrap this up and place this in that cavity, and then it's just a matter of letting enough stick out so that you'll have the ability to plug the device in. And you put this plate on top, and then once you have that on there, you just push it back and snaps into place. Looks nice and clean. And then it's just a matter of putting power to the device. Now I'm going to show you a variation in here in a minute, something I did to this thing to adapt it so that this cord isn't running up here along the face. I didn't particularly like that. So if I have one critique about this shelf, it's extremely sturdy. It's very good looking. It was, my wife thought it was very appealing. She liked it very much. And it gets the device out of the way so that you don't have to worry about knocking it over or moving it whenever you're using the bathroom. But let me go ahead and show you a variation on this. So I'm going to go ahead and unplug this. And I'm going to remove this shelf. It's just a matter of, what I do is I push back here in this cavity, pull forward, and then push on the bottom part so you have room for that to pop out. And then once that's out, you can unplug the device and then feed the cable back down through. So now I'm going to show you a variation. Let me go ahead and remove this plate. Okay. I'm going to remove this plate back out here. So if you look at the very bottom corner here, you may see this little notch here that I cut out. You can probably see it better at this angle here. So I notched the bottom, and the purpose of this is so that when I have it plugged in, I can run the cord directly over here and use this hollow cavity in order to bring the plug up. And then I used a 1/2-inch drill bit, and I have that drill bit right here. And I drilled this hole, which is just about the size. It's a little larger than the end of this plug, so it works ideally to be able to feed that through. So I'll show you in just a minute how to install this, but I want to talk a little bit about this groove down here. To do this, you can just basically use a coping saw. If you have a small saw or a hacksaw, just make a V-groove there. It only has to be the diameter of this plug, so it doesn't have to be very big. You see that fits in there real nicely. So a V-groove in there, and then if you have a small file, like this file, you want to take that and just kind of smooth and flatten it out. Like so. And once you're satisfied with that groove, then you're ready to do this next part here, which I'll show you. In order to install it with this alternate method, you'll place your plate in place so that you're ready to mount it on the wall. Then you'll kind of measure where you'll need to start your cord here, and you can adjust this even afterwards. So you're basically going to bring this up through that hollow place, like so. And then let's go ahead and feed the head through here. As you can see, that goes through nicely. Pull the excess through. Get all the twist out here. There you go. So there's the excess cord all pulled through and up to the top. Now once we have that, we are ready to go ahead and remount this, making sure the cord's out of the way. So let's put that in place now and then put our screws back in place. Okay, so there's the other screw, it's in place. And it's just a matter of go ahead and plug this in. And if you need to push a little more of this up to kind of tighten it up, you can. You can kind of pull it up through there. And then go ahead and wrap up the excess just like we did before. Okay. And I'm going to use that groove to place that through there. And then holding that in place, we're going to go ahead and put our plate on top. Making sure I've still got access there. There we go. And just snap it in place again. And now we're ready to hook up our Echo device. And there you have it. So I think that looks much cleaner than the other situation. So here's what that looks like after the revision, which I think is a much cleaner effect. So there you have it. I think it looks really good that way. So that'll wrap up today's review of the Echo Gear outlet shelf. We appreciate you watching today, and we'll see you in the next episode.